Hello again. Today I'm going to introduce you to a folding knife from the SRM brand. We'll take a look at it in detail and then I'll sharpen it. The manufacturer is from China, but there have been quite a few pleasant surprises from there lately. The model is 255L-GK. Practical EDC knife with an ergonomic handle made of G10 polymer. The handle is grooved, which helps prevent slipping. It is equipped with a double-sided belt clip. Quite durable and comfortable handle. The drop point blade is made of corrosion-resistant 10-Car-15 movie steel with a hardness of 58 to 60 units. The length of the blade is 8 centimeters, and the total length is 19.1 centimeters. The weight is 80 grams, 10-Car-15 move. Steel is Chinese corrosion-resistant steel with properties similar to VG10. Depending on the heat treatment, this steel can have a hardness of 58 to 64 HRC. This steel has relatively high wear resistance and good edge retention due to the vanadium in its composition. Due to the high chromium and molybdenum content, 10-Car-15 move it is highly resistant to corrosion and is an ideal candidate for kitchen knives. It has a medium difficulty in sharpening. The blade lock is ambi-lock, which is a modification of the well-known axis lock. In my opinion, this is a pretty decent knife that can be a daily companion for any edge fan. Pretty clean lines and good bevels. Let's move on to sharpening the knife. Today, I will use the Kadet Pro from T-Sprof, 3 Poltava premium bronze stones, and a kangaroo leather strop. I'll also need the L adapters for the clamps, so I can move them closer together and grip the knife. I make sure that at least one clamp is engaged on the flat section at the ricasso. I place the stone in the thickness compensator of the device and lock it in place. In the meantime, I place the stone in the holders and use a marker to outline the cutting edge. I make a few movements with the stone to adjust the degree of sharpening and check how the stone removes the marker. I notice that on one side the stone is working at the bottom of the apex, while on the other, it is scraping the marker across the entire width of the cutting edge. So, I'm going to start working on the side where the stone is scraping the marker at the bottom, and I'm going to work there until I've widened the bevel to make them the same on both sides. I put a little oil on the stone and start sharpening, trying to make the bevel as wide on this side as it is on the other. Today, I will be using 550, 650, and 1500 grit stones. I am starting with 550 grit because the knife is clean, factory sharpened, and does not need any major repairs or angle adjustments. I will finish with a 1500 Expert Pro CBN stone because I feel that there is no need for a finer sharpening. This will provide good sharpness and nice aggression. When I determine that the bevel on this side is as wide as the one on the other, I can start working on both sides of the blade successively to reduce the burr and to bring the two bevels together in the middle. There's a reason I don't show you measuring the sharpening angle with the electronic angle finder. I'm currently working on the factory sharpening angle, and if you want to keep that factory angle, there's no need to use an electronic angle finder. In addition, I consider it my duty to tell you that, in my opinion, with the Kadet Pro, it is more appropriate to use the stone thickness compensator when changing stones, instead of measuring the angle every time, because when the mechanism is locked, deviations in the value occur, but I will show you this later. The knife is already sharpened with the first stone, the bevels are even. Now we just have to make the sharpening finer with the remaining 2 stones. I won't bore you with the whole process, and we'll go straight to the finishing stone, which in this case is 1500 grit Poltava Expert Pro. I adjust the compensator according to the thickness of the new stone I will be working with, and thus guarantee that I maintain the same sharpening angle. With the finishing stone, I don't stay on one side of the blade for long. I try to rotate the knife often, although to be honest, the Kadet lock is a pain in the ass for me because I'm used to everything being done quickly and one-handed using the K4 and KO3. However, I concentrate and try to work with frequent rotation until the traces of the previous stone are completely removed. It is interesting to work with such a small sharpening device, while I am used to its larger brothers. However, I am still left with a pleasant impression of the lightness of the rake and the way the stone contacts the blade. Due to the low total weight of the rake and stone, there is almost no resistance to the blade, but the stone simply slides on it, doing a great job. And for the final stage of sharpening, When performing movements to remove burr, this is extremely useful. I am pleasantly surprised by this steel. It turned out to be a pretty enjoyable sharpening session. Even with a 1500 grit stone, I achieved a pretty decent polish on the cutting edge. I want to express my special thanks to Nikolay Podadzhiev, who gave me this knife to sharpen and show you. He has an online store where you can see more such nice knives, as well as handmade knives by him. I will put a link in the video description so you can take a look. I'm now done with the intermediate movements with the stone and can move on to the kangaroo leather strop. Of course, before that, I will also measure its thickness with the compensator and lock it according to the thickness of the leather strop. Kangaroo leather is quite specific. The best strops are made from kangaroo tail leather, where the skin has a roughness just like a human fingerprint. Unfortunately, it is very difficult to find kangaroo tail leather because it is banned for sale, and we have to make do with the ones from the Hapstone website. With the leather strop, it doesn't take much work. I do a few movements on each side, like 4 or 5, and that's it. I don't overdo it, because leather is a soft material and I don't want to round the apex. You can see how the blade easily cuts the paper towel without snagging or tearing it. This is a great result. I think it's time to take the blade off the device and show it to you. And voila! A good-looking blade with a nicely polished cutting edge, yet still aggressive enough. Perfectly aligned secondary bevels on both sides of the blade. The cutting edge is even along the entire length. I think we did a great job with this folding knife today. But let's see how the sharpness is. I apologize for the quality of the next shot, but when I'm shooting and the camera is above me, I can only see what I've captured when I'm scrolling through the footage. Anyway, that doesn't excuse me. I tried to show that I'm cutting the cigarette on the reverse side of the factory and gluing it. To prevent the edge of the cigarette from being a factor in the cut, I cut from the completely smooth side. But let's also pay attention to the sharpening device. The Kadet Pro is a pretty good sharpener, much more compact than the KO3 and K4, making it an ideal choice if you want a portable device. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I find one significant problem with the device, and it is with the locking mechanism for changing the angle. Even with the naked eye, you can see that when I unlock the mechanism with the black handle, the entire frame, including the clamps, moves, and when I then lock it, it moves again. I'll show you how. When using an electronic angle finder, when changing the stones, every time the mechanism is unlocked and locked, the degree changes, which is a problem. But that aside, I'm happy with the overall performance of the device and how today's sharpening went. We were able to bring a shine and sharpness to this nice folding knife. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. Thank you also to those who haven't subscribed yet but will. Your support and comments mean a lot to me and my channel. Give a thumbs up and press the bell so you don't miss the next interesting video. And now goodbye. I'm moving on to the next sharp adventure.